You know what? Fuck the intro. Let's just get started, shall we?
Hey YouTube, it's Jesus Freak with you once again. There's two types of people in the world. People that are going to heaven and people are going to hell.
Yeah. I would actually argue that there are three types of people in the world, and I hope you don't mind me amending your list. I do quite a bit of it in this video, so here's hoping in advance that you don't mind. Yeah, I would leave your list as is. I would just add a third person to that list. So let's go through it. There are people that go to heaven, people that go to hell, and people that don't allow their lives to be governed by a bunch of arbitrary, fear-based, carrot-on-a-stick theology. I happen to know that third type of person exists because I am one. But other than that, your list is great. You know, I think we might find some common ground after all, Jesus Freak. I like where this is going.
I thought what I would do is, like I said, let's explain the plan of salvation and see how we can apply it to our life to answer those first questions I asked you.
Yeah, one of the great things about being an atheist is I don't have to apply your bullshit plan for salvation to my life. I don't have to care what you or your 2,000-year-old book has to say about what I do in my private life. I'm completely free of it, right? But for the sake of this video, I want to hear what you have to say. All right, I want to hear what the plan for salvation according to Jesus Freak is. So let's hear it.
So what are the 5 points of salvation? Recognize that there is a God, that we have sinned against God, that sin condemns us to eternal death, and that through the only way to salvation is through Jesus, and that we must accept Jesus Christ's gift of salvation and can believe in our heart that that God raised him from the dead for us to be saved.
Wow, I am really sad to say, Jesus Freak, that I failed the shit out of that. 5 out of 5 wrong. You know, I'm wondering how you stand up to your own guidelines, though. I bet this is going to be a shocker.
I'll apply it to my life. First point, do I believe that there is a God? Yes. Second point, do I acknowledge that I'm a sinner? Yes. Third point, do I realize that sin condemns me to hell? Yes.
On roll.
Fourth point, do I realize that the only way to the Father is through Jesus? Yes. And the fifth point, do I confess with my mouth that Jesus is Lord and that God raised him from the dead? Do I believe in the atonement on the cross from our Lord Jesus Christ? Yes.
Oh, bravo. 5 out of 5. Internet high five, bro. Internet high five. I wish I had a cookie. I'm on a diet, so I don't have any cookies in the house. But if I had one, I'd give one to you. You're saved, man. That's awesome. You know, failing that test so miserably really got me thinking, Jesus Freak. Probably not in the way that you wanted it to, but got me thinking nonetheless. I started wondering, if other assholes can walk around standing in judgment of other people's lives based on a bunch of bullshit rules that they pulled out of their ass or pulled out of some 2,000-year-old book, why can't I? And I realized in this great moment of epiphany that I can. If you can make up a bunch of bullshit or pull a bunch of bullshit out of some old book and judge everybody else with it, then so can I. I can make up a bunch of bullshit too, so I've done it. What I've done is I've created the Atheist Guide to Salvation. And right off the bat, it's better than yours because there's only 3 points to it, all right? There are 3 questions. After you answer these 3 questions, I'll be able to stand in judgment of your life, right? So the people are behind me already because people love simplicity, and I love simplifying things. So right off the bat, I'm only 3 to your 5. So let's see how it turns out. Basically, I'm going to explain to you what each question is, and then I'm going to answer it, and at the end, we'll see how you stack up, Jesus Freak. So the question number 1. Are you a fucking douchebag? Now, I have some personal experience with this, and not just from watching your videos, although all one would have to do is watch a couple of your videos to realize that you stand firmly in the douchebag column. But I've actually spent a lot of time talking to you on Stickum, and I can say, after about 15 minutes, I was drowning in a sea of douchebaggery. So you might not like to hear it, but you're a fucking douchebag. So that's a definite yes to number 1. Question number 2. Do you presume to stand in judgment of other people's lives? I don't know. Do you?
There's 2 types of people in the world. People that are going to heaven and people are going to hell.
Ding, 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 ding. We've got a winner. You stand in judgment of other people's lives. So that's a definite yes to number 2. Number 3 is a little more complicated. Number 3 is this. Do you allow fear to govern every decision that you make in your life? Now, this is a question that I'd love to let you answer for yourself, but I know for a fact, Jesus Freak, that you're not capable of honestly answering that question. So I'm going to have to do it for you. And considering you told me that I'm going to hell at the beginning of this video, I don't think it's too presumptuous for me to answer this personal question for you. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to boil your beliefs down to the bare bones. You remember earlier when I said people love simplicity and I love simplifying? I'm going to simplify your belief system, okay? So basically, here it is. You believe that there's this omnipotent deity, right? He created everything. He created all of this infinite complexity from nothing. He has ultimate control over everything. And for some reason, he is intensely concerned with the private details of everybody on the planet's life. Now, if you were able to step outside your worldview for 5 seconds, you would realize what an absurd statement that is. I know you're not capable of it, but take it from somebody who's standing on the outside. It's a completely absurd sentiment. It's a totally absurd thing to base your fucking life on. So the answer to the question, Jesus Freak, unfortunately is yes. Yes, you allow fear to govern every decision you make. Every decision you make is based on your reaction to a bunch of fucking stories that were told to you when you were growing up about people burning for eternity. So the answer is definitely yes. So unfortunately, you failed the shit out of my test too. Now I know what you're probably wondering at this point. What's the punishment? What's the reward? Well, I got good news on that one as well. The punishment for this is a lot lighter than the punishment for yours, all right? It doesn't hold a candle to eternal hellfire, all right? Although it will be unpleasant. If you've made it this far into the video, which, let's be honest, I completely doubt that you're still watching. But in case you are, the punishment is going to be unpleasant, but it's definitely not going to be burning for eternity. The reward would have been the paulsego seal of approval. A good old thumbs up from me to you. Unfortunately, I can't give you that, okay? But the punishment is actually pretty similar to the reward because it involves a finger being extended up. That's right. Fuck you, Jesus Freak. All right? Fuck your smarmy, cocky demeanor. Fuck your presumptuousness in thinking that you're somehow the arbiter of everybody's fucking private life. And fuck your divisive, fear-mongering, hate-mongering, backwards fucking belief system. Go fuck yourself, Jesus Freak. And I hope we can still be stick-em buddies. Everybody else, you know the drill.